Most people don't have a money problem, they have a system problem. When you really look at what's happening, money isn't random. You get paid, you spend, bills hit, something unexpected shows up, and then you try to fix everything after the fact. That cycle repeats over and over, and it creates this constant feeling of being behind. Not because you're irresponsible, but because your money has no structure guiding it. So today, we're not going to talk about tips or hacks. We're going to build a system that tells your money exactly where to go before it has a chance to disappear. Because once your system is right, everything changes. You stop guessing, you stop stressing, and you start seeing consistent progress. Most people manage money in reverse. They get paid, they spend based on what feels okay in the moment, and then they check what's left. And what's left is usually nothing, or not enough to create progress. So they promise themselves they'll fix it next time. But next time becomes the same pattern. That's where people get stuck. They think the issue is discipline, that they need to try harder or be more controlled. But it's not discipline, it's order. Because in your current setup, spending happens first, life happens first, and saving or planning happens last. Which means it's inconsistent by design. So no matter how motivated you are, the outcome doesn't change because the system hasn't changed. So here's the shift that changes everything. You stop saving what's left, and you start deciding what stays before anything else happens. Right now, your money flows like this. You get paid, you spend, and then you see what's left. After this, it becomes, you get paid, you keep a portion, and then you spend what remains. That one change moves you from reactive to proactive. It removes uncertainty and replaces it with structure. And when structure is in place, consistency follows. This is the foundation of everything you're building. Now we simplify, because complexity is what breaks most financial systems. People create too many categories, too many rules, and too many things to track, and eventually they stop following it. So instead, we reduce everything to 3 areas: bills, spending, and savings. That's it. You don't need complexity to be in control. You need clarity. Because clarity allows action, and action builds consistency. When your system is simple, it becomes repeatable. And when it's repeatable, it becomes reliable. Once it's simple, you need visibility. You don't need to track every transaction, but you do need to understand your flow. You should be able to answer 3 questions at any time. How much is coming in? What must go out? And what's safe to use? That's your baseline. Because if you don't understand your flow, you can't control it. And once you see it clearly, you can start shaping it instead of reacting to it. One of the biggest hidden problems in most systems is timing. Even people who budget still feel stressed because their bills don't match their income. Expenses hit before money is available, and everything feels tight even when the numbers technically work. So instead, you align everything. You move your bills to match your pay cycle so your system flows with your income instead of against it. This single adjustment removes a huge amount of pressure without requiring you to earn more or cut back. Now we create your spending ceiling. Instead of restricting everything, you define a clear number for what you can spend without breaking your system. This removes guesswork and eliminates decision fatigue. You're no longer asking if something is okay, you already know. And when you reach that limit, you stop, not because you're forcing yourself, but because your system defines the boundary. This creates freedom inside structure, which is what makes it sustainable. Now we build stability by adding a buffer. Even a small buffer changes everything. Without it, every small problem feels urgent. With it, you have space. You're not reacting to every expense, you're absorbing it. And that changes how money feels. Less pressure, more control, and more confidence in your system. A buffer doesn't just protect your money, it protects your consistency. Now we account for inconsistency, because life isn't perfectly predictable. Some weeks cost more, some months feel tighter, and sometimes income shifts. So instead of building a system that only works under perfect conditions, you build one that adapts. You create range, use minimum, comfortable, and extra. This allows your system to flex without breaking, And that flexibility is what keeps it working long term. Now we remove hidden waste. Most money doesn't disappear in big, obvious ways. Disappears in small, unnoticed ways. Subscriptions, convenient spending, and habits that feel normal in the moment but add up over time. Instead of cutting everything, you redirect a portion. That's where your savings come from, not sacrifice, but awareness and small adjustments. Now we make the system easy to maintain, because if it requires constant attention, it won't last. So you create a weekly reset 10 minutes to review your system, make small adjustments, and stay aligned. This keeps everything running smoothly without requiring daily effort. Over time, this becomes part of your routine. Now we automate, which is where everything starts working without you. Because if your system depends on you remembering or making decisions in the moment, it will eventually fail. So you remove that risk. Bills are scheduled, savings are automatic, and money moves without effort. Now consistency is built into the system instead of relying on you. Now saving becomes predictable. Every time money comes in, a portion is set aside first. No decision, no hesitation, it just happens. That's how you build consistency. And consistency is what actually grows your savings over time. Now we go further by redirecting what you already have instead of trying to earn more immediately. Money is already leaving your system. The question is whether it's going where you want it to go. So you identify small areas where money is being used without intention and redirect a portion. Because small, consistent changes build faster than large, inconsistent ones. Now we fix leftover money before it disappeared. After this, it has a job. At the end of each cycle, whatever remains gets assigned, saved, rolled forward, or used intentionally. Nothing is random. Every dollar has direction, and that's how progress builds. Now your system starts building forward, not just protecting you, but creating opportunities. This is where money becomes intentional. You're not just avoiding problems, you're creating options. And that shift changes your entire relationship with money. Now we eliminate stress from large expenses. Most unexpected costs aren't actually unexpected. They're just unplanned. Car repairs, annual bills, holidays, they all happen on a cycle. So instead of reacting to them, you break them into smaller monthly amounts and integrate them into your system. Now when they happen, the money is already there. Now we address income, but in a sustainable way. Instead of working more and risking burnout, you increase value. You improve efficiency and focus on higher impact work. This allows income to grow without increasing pressure, which keeps your system stable. Now we lock everything in. Simple, automated, and repeatable. No reliance on motivation, just structure. Because the system only works if it continues working, and anything that depends on how you feel won't last. Now we define boundaries to protect your progress. As your system improves, new opportunities and temptations will appear. So you decide ahead of time what fits within your structure and what doesn't. That way, decisions are already made before pressure exists. Now your role changes. At the beginning, you were building the system. Now you're maintaining it. You're not constantly fixing things. You're observing, adjusting when needed, and letting the system run. And that's where everything starts to feel easier. And this is the final shift. At the beginning, you were managing money. Now, your system manages it. You're no longer reacting, you're directing. And that changes everything. Because now progress doesn't depend on how you feel, it's built into your system. You don't need more money. You need a system that works every single week. Because once your system works, everything else follows. If this helped, like and subscribe to The Daily Yield, because we're building real financial progress, one step at a time.